It's time for the Dr. Tongie Show.
Hey, you're on the air with Dr. Tongie. Talk to me.
As soon as I hear your voice, Dr. Tongie, my day is better.
Hey, Dr. Tongie. I took your advice and made some changes in my life. And you know what? I've been winning ever since. Thank you for your advice.
Now, here's Dr. Tongie.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. And thank you again for another edition of the Dr. Tongie Show with yours truly, Dr. Tongie, and of course, my lady from the kitty from the city.
In the building.
It's a show where we inspire, where we motivate, where we assist you from getting to where you are right now to where you want to be with practical solutions and kingdom principles. And we hopefully are doing what is needed to really motivate you and inspire you. It is the show where we have a section or a segment of the show called How Did I Get Here? And it's basically where you, the listening audience, hit us at Dr. Tongie on Instagram, or at Dr. Tongie Show, on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you ask whatever questions that you want to ask. And there's no judgment. And we have that feature of the show where we answer your questions, hopefully to the best of our ability. That will get you where you need to be. We have guests that come on the show, and they are people that are doing what the premise of the show is. They've got a product. They are getting that gift, and that gift is making room for them with great people, bringing them before great people. Another woman that we've got on the show, our guest for the day, is unbelievable. Not going to introduce her just yet because you got to listen to the principle. All right. Today's principle, we talked about vision. And I told you everybody has one. It's inherent that you have a vision. It is that dream. And I kind of gave you an analogy of a dream that kind of keeps you up at night. You know that it can propel you to where you want to be, because what that dream is really, it's your vision. And God didn't, or your creator, not to be disrespectful to anyone, because we may have listeners that know him as Yahweh. We may have listeners that know him as Jehovah. We may have listeners that know him as the creator. But as long as you know that there is someone, there is some spiritual being that is so much bigger than yourself that created absolutely everything. Now, what happens is that dream lies sometimes dormant. Maybe when you were a child, you dreamt of doing something and you got excited about it and you could see it. And it's like when you close your eyes and you got in that space, you were able to see exactly the constructs of that dream. And it tickled you because you were like, hey, I can do that. And then you went around and you told some of your friends, hey, I got this dream. And when I grow up, I'm going to be ellipse, ellipse, ellipse. And then somewhere along the way, someone or something discouraged you and told you to just focus on today. Why are you dreaming so big? Who told you that you could do that? Well, today, my friends, who told you that you couldn't? And that is what this show is about. It is truly to awaken that giant that's in you. So I wrote a couple of things down because this woman to my right with the brown on always told me that you got to flow. So I need to flow. I'm flowing here. So I wrote down just a couple of aspects of your dream, of your vision. It is the key to life. These are characteristics of vision. It is a dream only viewed by your heart. So if you're trying to see your vision or that dream with these things that we call our eyes, it's impossible. And I say that with the utmost respect, because true vision, it is so embedded in you that when you are in that space, you lose all track of time. You get excited like you did when you were a child, like you did when you knew that no one could stop you. Same way. And what that vision does is it will cause a revelation to your future. And what I really want to be very sensitive when I talk about your future, and we'll talk about that on another show, but your future is not outside of you. It's in you. It's in you, and it's lying dormant for that particular time in your life, when that set time, and and there's absolutely nothing and nobody, no circumstance that can stop you when you make up your mind. And I, again, don't want to get ahead of myself, but that is a principle that you really just got to make your mind up. It's almost as if you're answering the question, who am I? Or the questions rather, who am I? And we talked about this. Why am I here? Where am I from? What can I do? And what is my destiny? Now, all of that ties in, believe it or not, with your vision. Because another key element of vision, it will cause you to have periods of isolation. And if you have associates and they don't really know you as a friend, those associates will maybe have the mindset of, oh, she or he's just depressed. No, I'm just rediscovering who am I. I'm rediscovering why I'm here. I'm rediscovering why this nagging feeling or nagging dream every night that I close my eyes, or whenever I'm by myself, I have the tendency to see all those things in color again. That's vision. We're going to talk about that vision. We're going to literally hold your hand, because you're just that important to me. You're so important to me that I went through it for you. Our guest goes through it for you. And when you, honestly, again, not wanting to get ahead of myself, but when you have the spirit of leadership and not the leadership spirit, when you have the spirit of leadership, you are so connected with your creator that you know when to do it, when not to do it, when to speak, when not to speak. And all of it ties in. When you've gone through something, you must go back and you must tell someone that'll hear you. Let me give you this advice. This is what happened, or this is what worked for me. Now, another key principle of your vision is start with the end in mind. Now, what does that look like? Have you ever gone past a plot of land and it looks barren? It may be zoned for commercial use, and you're riding by it and you've noticed it from time to time, but this particular time you see a sign that says future site. And whatever that future site is, oftentimes the architect or the dreamer will have maybe a picture. This is what it's going to look like. These are the specs of the building. This is how, you can park your car. If you're, conservative, energy conservant, you will be able to plug your car in, or whatever that modality looks like. But the picture is, you get the picture, and then soon you start to see maybe the people going out and grading the land, and then you start to see buildings that or concrete or foundation that's poured. And you get excited, or at least I do, when I see something like that. And for me, I just began to pray, man, oh God, bless that business. And don't let them run out of money, and let them have the right people on their team. Because when you are a visionary, you go back and make certain that other people know that, hey, I'm rooting for you. I'm supporting you. I may not know you, and I don't have to, but we're human. We're beings, and we all have an assignment down here. So if I can make your life better, why not? Why not offer a smile? why not offer a word of encouragement? Why not tell you that, you know what, you're going to be just fine. Don't quit. Whatever you do, don't quit. Another principle that I feel like it's very, very important is that you got to get out your own way. You got to move. I cannot stress that enough to you. You got to move out of your way. And that moving out of your way will cause you to write down every reason why you can't do what you know has been placed in you, what you know you've been dreaming about, what you know can answer a question, because that is part of your purpose. Purpose, dreams go hand in hand, but purpose will always give you a vivid illustration of what vision is. It will just blow your mind how intellectual this thing is. But it will cause you also to write that vision down, write that dream down. 2, make up your mind after you've written down your excuses. Because
Right.
there are several. If you're like me, I think I went through 2 pages of excuses why I couldn't do what I wanted to do or what I believe God had placed in me to do. And then when I finished with that excuse or those lists of excuses, I wrote down every reason why I can. I wrote down every reason, because remember, your true vision will always make you serve someone else. It will always do it. And if you're not, then perhaps, and again, not to be offensive and not to be insensitive, but maybe you need to kind of check that vision with his vision for your life. And another component of getting out of your way, once you've made up your mind, once you've written down every excuse why you can't, once you've written every excuse as to why you can, now you put that vivid picture that you've dreamt on paper. Now here's the scary part. You got to give it back to him. And in that area, in that space, there's a breaking. And you got to be okay with that breaking. You got to be okay with the breaking. And the breaking can be so intense that you'll question everything you know about yourself. Then you'll look for other people to inspire you before you've even written it, before you even believe that you could do it. And you may not get the answer that you want. You may get, it ain't time. Are you kidding me? Why didn't you think about that, girlfriend, before you had children? Or nobody's done it like that before. Or the one that I really like, who gonna finance it? But how old are you? Block out the noise. Be ready for it. But make up your mind. This is the day, not the year. Because if you go back to what's written, it plainly tells us this is the day that the Lord has made. Then it gives you a command to rejoice and be made glad. Because there are days when you just ain't glad for whatever reason. But if nothing more than to trust the God in you and to trust yourself, get up. Let's get busy. Let's do this. Last key, it's not a sprint. It's not a competition. And you got to hear me when I say that. You are in competition with no one but yourself. So the only proving that you got to do, honestly, is to prove to yourself that I can do this. And no matter how many times you fall, get up. No matter how many times you fall, get up. No matter how many times you cry, okay, it's all right. You're going to be okay. And that's a promise. That's how important you are. That's why we're here, to make certain that you do what you're supposed to do. And that's get busy. Someone says, it ain't the season. Every day that you wake up, it's your season. So every day you wake up, it's your season to get busy. Thank you so very much for listening. And we are going to segue now into a woman who did just that. She's a woman who, when I first met her, we chatted a little bit and we were talking about each other's dreams and ideas. And I don't remember if we held each other accountable, but I remember the conversation that we're going to do it.
Yes, absolutely.
And to see what this woman has done, she has written books and she speaks. And when she opens her mouth, you know that she means business. So it's almost like, thank you so much for coming, Dawn Strozier.
Thank you for having me.
How did you get here?
By God's grace. Yes.
What fueled? And your list goes on and on and on and on. What fueled you to say, you know what, this just isn't working for me anymore?
Right.
What was it?
Well, one of the things is I didn't have a clear vision of what I wanted to do.
Ah,
So my life didn't start to happen for me until I got clear.
very good.
And when I got clear, then I began to, when I got clear, I had to make some decisions.
Mm.
And then I began to take the steps necessary to get there.
Wow.
So I got clear. I got a clear vision of what God was calling me to do. Believe it or not, I'm not going to tell my age on air. I'm not going to do that to myself.
Just because you're going to be 21 again?
I know,
What's the shame in that?
It feels like it. But it took me a minute. It took me a minute to get clear on what God wanted from me, because I believe I had so many things I could do. You know, I'm not saying that I'm that talented, but I had so many different directions I could go in.
Okay.
But it wasn't until I got clear on what He was calling me to do that my life began to take shape.
Wow.
So I enjoy helping people. And God's going to use everything in your life. So He used some of my biggest insecurities. He used one of my biggest, I believe, setbacks, and allowed that to be my career. So growing up, I was very insecure about the way that I looked.
Oh, wow.
I did not like, I thought I was thin. I didn't like looking in the mirror.
Okay.
I was dating, when I started dating, when I got old enough to date, out of high school, when I would bring someone home to visit, or they'd stop by to visit, they'd see my sister, and they'd look at me in disappointment.
Oh, wow.
Because my sister is amazingly beautiful, thick, hourglass figure. Then you have a little size 0 Dawn. So dating was hard for me. I literally would watch my friends stop by with interest in me and kind of look at my sister and look back at me and switch teams right before my eyes.
Oh, wow, Dawn.
But I didn't get upset because I loved her. And I'm like, okay, I get it. I would date, and men would say, you're too thin. Most men wouldn't like you and try to fatten me up.
I don't see men looking at you now online like,
same man asked to, turn
Look
around
at
and
me
asked to
now.
marry me. But I ended up not liking a lot about me.
Wow.
I didn't like a lot about me.
Wow.
So I was in Cleveland, Ohio when that happened. I moved to California. I said, California, here I come. Where thin is in. I'm going to California. And moved to LA and brought my same hang up, same insecurities.
Okay.
And I remember going on my first date here, 21 years old, 9 degrees outside. I came out with a leather jacket down to my knees because I didn't want him to look and see how thin I was. I said, oh, he doesn't realize, when he asked me out, he doesn't realize how thin I am.
Oh, wow.
So I went on my first date, and he came to pick me up, and he's like, you can see the look on his face when I walk out in the leather jacket down to my knees, and he goes, are you okay? I'm good. So we go to Red Lobster, right? and he pulls out my chair, and I have a seat. So you want to take your jacket off? I says, no, I'm okay. He says, you're not hot? No, I'm fine. Sweat running down the side of my face.
Wow. All because of insecurity.
All because of my own insecurities.
Wow.
And that young man said to me, we need to stop. Because I don't know what you're going through, but I think you're absolutely beautiful.
Oh, wow.
And I think that there's something here. So he said, I need you to talk to me. He's talked to me from that moment on. And then We never ate that day. He just sat there and told, why do you have this jacket? What are you hiding from that you have to face?
Wow.
Because if you don't face it, you won't get through it. You won't get over it. You won't get to where you need to go.
Absolutely.
And so I said, well, I'm thin. He said, what do you mean you're thin? I'm a size 0. And most men don't like, and I just spilled it all out. And he was like, what are you talking about? What men are you dating?
Yeah.
And I started saying all my stuff, all my past. And he just sat there looking like, are you serious? So he took me to the gym. He's a firm believer on whatever you don't like, let's start working on it. Let's start physically working on it and mentally working on it. So physically, I'm going to take you to the gym because in the gym, you can build a booty. You can build some abs. You can build your arms. You can build some legs.
Yeah.
We can build all that stuff.
Right.
That's superficial. And then we got to
Right.
start working on this mindset of yours.
Now, all of this from a dinner
Yeah.
that didn't take place.
Changed my life.
Wow.
Changed my life.
So with that, Dawn, how did you know, okay, I'm picking up the pieces. I'm allowing God to do what he does so well in my life. Now we go to the fitness guru.
Okay, this was it. Walked into the gym and loved the way I felt at the gym. Walked into the gym, I spent hours there.
Okay.
The next day, back at the gym. The next day, the gym was empowering for me. And then I said, I love the way this feels so much. I want to share with other women with the same insecurities about themselves
Wow.
what it feels like to start working on your stuff.
And
Then
it's,
I started reading some things.
and it's interesting that, ladies, you're talking about, again, helping, where you are and where you want to be. But you work with so many people, Dawn, from, a single mom, career women, celebrities in the entertainment industry. How do you approach different clients, where they are? Because everybody is not athletically, trained. Everybody doesn't have a mindset to, a lot of people are
But
afraid of the
everybody
gym.
has a goal.
Okay. So you start with the goal.
Everybody has a vision. And I learned this from one of my clients who was 60-something years old and on the highest form of cholesterol medicine he could be on he was on something else for cholesterol, high blood pressure. He was on everything. And so he said, I want to get in shape. I want to be in the best shape of my life. So I'm thinking the best shape of his life was simply get you off the cholesterol medicine, get you off the stuff for high blood pressure. That was, I thought, the best shape. Okay. I talked to his doctor. I said, since he's on the highest form of cholesterol medicine, let's take him off. And let me get him a 6-week regimen because I want to know that what I'm doing is working. Doctor said, okay, because if he doesn't, he's going to actually have a heart attack or a stroke. So he says, as long as he's working out every single day. Okay. So now I trained him for 12 weeks, lost the weight. The doctor was like, oh, great. And then he sat down and told me he didn't reach his goal. And I said, huh? He said, okay, I'm off the medicine, but this isn't what I wanted. He was 59 years old at the time. And I was like, what did you want? He wanted abs. So I said, I need you to get clear. Show me what you want.
Okay.
So then he give me a picture so as your trainer I can show you. So everybody has an idea of what they want to look like or how they want to feel.
Right.
So I asked him to be clear. Give me a clear picture or clear understanding of what you want. Then, just like you said, have a dream or have a, most people don't do to-do lists.
Right.
Successful people don't work from a to-do list. They work from a calendar. They work from events, and then they go back. So you're going to pick so I want you to pick what you want to look like, and I'm going to tell you how hard you have to work for it. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So everybody has a vision of what they want to look like.
Love
So
that.
he sent me a picture of what we sat down. Oh, you want abs? And then I said, well, this is what it takes to get there.
Okay.
So that's what I did for myself.
So-
I had a vision of the person I wanted to be, the confidence I wanted to have. I wanted this, I wanted that. I'm still a size 0, but the shape different.
Right,
Oh, I love
right.
it.
So it's the individual goal.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
That's it.
individually
I like
what
that.
you want. And that's it with
Yeah.
anything in your life. I
Anything in
think,
your
like I said, fitness is one, if it's business, if it's relationships, because
Right.
again, if you want to be interactive, at Dr. Tongie show right now, we have Lynette in ATL that we'll talk to. She hit you on Twitter, Dr. Tongie, and she is talking about a very realistic situation that a lot of us can relate to all day, every day. She says she gains weight every time she breaks up with a man. And what steps can she take to combat emotional eating or just a lack of motivation when she is ending a relationship?
That's where we are. So ending a relationship, I do what's called habit-based coaching. Write down all your bad habits, then replace those bad habits with new habits. So you know when you're ending a relationship, you kind of know when a relationship is coming, when it's about to end. So if your habit when my relationship is ending, I'm always eating, which is making you gain weight, or I'm emotionally driven. So what do? Instead of eating, you do what? Eating serves a purpose. I'm a firm believer in the bad habits are serving a purpose.
Right.
So you have to replace it with something that gives you the same benefit or the same feeling.
That's good.
So
That's
instead
really
of
good.
eating something, I would suggest I made the gym my go-to. When I got upset about Dawn, I got frustrated. Instead of going to food, I went to the gym because gym empowered me.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
It makes a lot
So
of
what
sense.
else empowers you? When you start to feeling bad about yourself, when you sometimes we go through emotional, we become emotional eaters because we're feeling like, oh, another failed relationship. We need to figure out what does eating do for you at that time? Does it make you feel good? So we need something that's going to give you the same benefit. Keep going to the gym. I'd say get up and go to the gym. Gym, good endorphins it's called the dopamine, right?
Absolutely.
They call it Kim Kardashian drug. That's stimulating the brain. It's a happy drug.
Right.
So you can get that happy feeling from going to the gym, from meeting your girlfriends there, from exercise on a regular basis to stimulate that dopamine in your brain that makes you feel happy and good like food does. So I would say try spending more time in the gym towards the end of your relationship as it begins to.
Okay, Lennon, I'll meet you there. Plus, you need to show me these guys, and I'll let you
Yes,
know.
yes.
We'll scan them for you, okay? We have the Dr. Tongie scan service. And do whatever makes you feel good. If it's the gym, great. You know,
it's shopping.
If it's shopping, you know, or you know what I really love too? Trying something you've never done. A lot of times people get out of, like Dr. Tongie said, get out of your own way. Something you thought about and you never tried it, go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Sounds like you've done that before.
Oh, no, I do it every day. I do it every day.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so very much for that. How did you know, Dawn, that this was a business blossoming and this is what I need to do? Because it worked for me. Now what?
I began to see the benefits in other people.
Okay.
And I asked someone, I set a price to it. A young lady who was, I said, hey, a young lady, one of my clients, a friend of mine who was severely, I guess you should say, I guess that's a good way to say now.
Yeah.
She was severely overweight. Yes.
Grossly.
She was
Yeah.
grossly, I didn't want to say grossly. She was 400 pounds. And she wouldn't have the surgery. It was my best girlfriend. I said, if I can get 100 pounds off of you, will you not have the surgery?
Wow.
She said, yes. I said, but you have to pay me for it, because when you pay me for it, you're going to show up. If you spend your money for it, you'll show up. And she started to pay me. We got 100 pounds off of her. It took her 6 months, but she got it off. Wow. And from then, I knew I had a business. I also knew because I felt good about what I was doing. Okay. It was a service I was rendering to other people.
Okay.
I felt great about it.
Yeah.
And I started to help people have success.
Wow.
So, yes.
I love it. So from the physical aspect, and now you've got a component
Yes.
that is, I would venture to say, is a little bit more important because your mind, all right, is going to dictate everything.
Absolutely.
It is. How did you get that motivational component? You got the physical, all right? You said, yep, I can do this as a business.
Right.
But you give people more, than what they kind of bargained for.
Right.
How did you put that emotional quotient in there?
It has to come first, actually. It has to come first, because I have to get you to make a decision. And when you make a decision, then it's done. You know how women are when they decide they can love somebody's dirty drawers, can't live without them, and the very next day cannot stand them because they made that switch. So I have to get you to make that mental switch. So I have to teach you how to exercise your mental muscle, your mental toughness.
Okay.
Because if you don't decide, it's not done. So you decide by deciding. Like you said, make that list of why you need to. I tell people, make a list of all the reasons why you need to do this.
Right.
Why it's important for you. And what will happen if you don't make the change. And then I got to get you to connect with it. So how I get them to connect with the reason why is if that reason wakes you up in the morning, that's it. Without alarm clock, that's it. If it doesn't, you got to get another reason. So I practice telling me right until you exhaust every reason why you should do this.
Absolutely.
Down to, it makes me feel good. I want to look amazing.
Yeah.
Write out every reason. Then use each reason one at a time to get you up.
I love it.
And the very next day, the first reason to get you up, but will it get you up every day? By Wednesday or Friday, the end of the week, that reason no longer is strong enough.
Absolutely.
Because I'm tired and I stay up late watching TV kicks in.
Yeah.
I wake up every single morning without an alarm clock because I'm excited about what I do and I'm serious about what I want.
So you are a prime example of what these principles are. Seriously. Even on previous shows, because again, the show is driven to get you from where you want to be.
Right.
but it makes you think. It makes you go inside and say, you know what? I got to be better.
Right.
I know that why I was put here is so much bigger than me. And for you to say, okay, let's do this.
Yeah.
And it came from a place where you yourself was victimed by your appearance.
Right.
Now,
And the negative conversations I was having with myself on a regular basis, I kept feeding into what everybody else was saying, which wasn't true.
Glad you brought that up
Absolutely.
because
I
that
kept
psychologically
leading into
messes with a lot of people.
I kept those things alive in
baggage.
my own head. So it wasn't until I started replacing that negative conversation with better conversation. All of those guys turned around and asked to marry me before I started doing fitness. Every last one of them have asked to marry me. All the ones that cheated on me with women that were so-called bigger hips, bigger butt, voluptuous, my little skinny self. But I'm the one y'all want to marry. I'm just
And then what about women who but just the gym? A lot of people, Dawn, honestly, are challenged and scared to go to gym.
Right.
Just like your vision, LA, where everything is, it's actually injections and Botox, but you know, everybody's sculpted perfectly. A lot of women, that's the main thing I hear them say, well, everybody has on the spandex, it's a fashion show. So what if the fear is not being comfortable in there? What options can people do in their homes, in their communities that can begin to help them with that? Because that will block a lot of people. Everybody have that mindset, Dave.
Yeah, everyone has excuses.
Look, I'm looking out for y'all, for the ones who like, I'm not
it.
going in Planet Fitness, you know, with spandex and I'm all over the place.
Yeah.
You count too.
Yes, you
Whatever
do.
you, like you said earlier, do what you like to do, because what you like to do, you'll stand for the long haul. So if it's dancing, dance. If it's running, run. And you don't necessarily have to do these things at the gym. You can do them right in the comfort of your own home. I have a program coming out called No Excuses. You can turn me on in your living room and you can dance. Because I believe your excuses they explain you, but they don't excuse you. They explain why you do what you do, but they don't excuse you. And at some point, you got to build that mental toughness up in such a way where you walk into the gym and you don't see anybody else in their spandex. You don't see all that. All you see is what you bring.
But those blockers on, do you?
Yes, because at some point you gotta go. Ladies, if you want to build nice glutes, you can start at home. But at some point, you got to put some heavy weight to it.
Wow.
So you're gonna have to step into the gym.
Oh, I love it.
You're gonna have to step into the
love it.
gym. Yeah.
Do you do one-on-one sessions with people if they're not based in LA? How can they make that connection and get with you?
Yes, you can DM me on all social media.
Okay.
Dawn Strozier, DAWNSTROZIER.
Okay.
You can go to my my website, ds-fitness.com, and you can send me an email.
Oh, wow.
Yes, as a matter of fact, God is so good. My business is growing. So I have clientele in other states.
Oh,
He's actually enlarging my territory, and he has been for some time. So it's important for me to finish my online platform. I'm very excited about that because there's no excuse for you not to be in the shape that you want to be in. When you do the steps necessary, you can get there.
I love it.
And that's one thing I love about social media. Say what you want, but the technology allows you to interact with anybody all around the world.
Yes.
You know,
Absolutely.
so that's excellent,
It is.
Dave.
You can train with whoever you want from your own home.
Yeah, I like the way you said that.
I know.
Because if I start thinking about who I want to train with,
Okay. Exactly.
yes.
The internet has made the world. It's bigger. You realize how big it is, but smaller all at the same
Oh,
time.
absolutely.
So long distance relationships have a chance now.
Thank you, Dawn. Is there a question before I ask the next question to Dawn?
I tell you what, Carlos, he's in LA.
Okay.
Wow, he said, Dr. Tongie, I'm having a challenge getting my wife to work out. Okay.
Awesome.
She's gained a lot of weight since we've been married 2 years ago. Love her, want to help her, even ask her to go to gym or walk with me. Nothing is working. What's next? Don't want to be out, but that's not who I married.
Wow. What
Well,
a great
February is
question.
coming up. February is couples month to exercise. Find out what she likes to do.
Absolutely.
Find out what she wants to do, and you do it with her.
That's a good question.
Inviting her
Good
to the gym
answer.
with you. If she wants to go Zumba, you go Zumba. It was
Absolutely.
created by a man. Don't be afraid.
He said
go
he
Zumba.
asked her to do that. She
Yeah.
ain't
Turn on some tapes at home.
Yeah.
Take
What
her
kind of
walking.
tapes? Zumba at home?
They got Zumba tapes at home. Anything. But
Anything
I would
with cardio.
What I
Look,
would
Carlos,
say
you hear where I'm going. Now,
find
anything
out
with
what she
cardio.
likes.
Yeah.
Find out what
press
she
play.
likes is in terms of exercise.
Absolutely.
And then meet her halfway. Meet her
Absolutely.
there. But most importantly, you can start by a good diet.
Absolutely.
You don't necessarily have to. You can lose 2 pounds a week on what you decide to put in your mouth.
Oh, really?
So if you understand that carbohydrates are energy foods, they're for you to they're for energy only.
Right.
If you don't burn them off, they store as fat. So the only carbs I have is at noon.
Okay. Because you need that pick-me-up to continue.
After my workout,
Okay.
I'll do some carbohydrates to kind of
Okay.
replenish my energy.
Okay.
But those carbs can take me through the rest of the day.
Gotcha.
In the evening, when you guys are winding down to watch TV or to read a good book, or to help your kids with their homework, you don't need dinner that's high in carbohydrates.
Right.
Pasta, beans, rice, potatoes, bread. What happens is we eat all those things and we go to sleep on all these carbs.
Right.
And in the morning, they're available to be used. But what we do is we don't go to the gym. And if we do go to the gym, we're burning off the carbs and we never get to our stored fat. But if you don't go to the gym, you wake up and you pour carbs on top of carbs. And now tomorrow you got double the carbs to burn off. And your body never catches up to the fat burning process. But what you can do, being February being the month of lovers, what you can do is cook for her. And cook her all
Ooh,
healthy
Carlos.
stuff. Cook for her every night, dinner differently. She won't even know it's a game plan to you introducing her to food, to dinner without carbohydrates. Make sexy salads for eat in the evening for dinner with a nice bed of
I
tuna
like
or
that.
salmon
That
on
is
top.
nice.
And watch her, and then have her step on the scale at the end of the week and watch she's lost 2 pounds. So you're going to love her a different way.
Yeah, Carlos. Every time y'all step on the scale, like this is how long, depending on how many pounds you lose.
Yes.
This is how much love you get, baby.
Right, yes. Oh, that's cute. That's cute. That's cute.
But the sexy salad, yes.
cute.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we should only be naturally. I believe we should only be going to bed on roughage, on salad stuff, or high fiber stuff, because you know what it does at night. You know that's when your body does its best work. That's when it repairs itself and heals itself. And we have antioxidants in your body. It only helps your body become that much more powerful.
Right.
Carbohydrates, it takes out of your body cancer cells. It takes out of your body carbohydrates that you don't burn off. Antioxidants, which are leafy green vegetables, it helps your body create new blood every 90 days. Did you know your body does that?
Oh, absolutely.
I'm not surprised at anything we
But a lot
do.
of times we're not
It's
getting
incredible.
rest, or we're not feeding our body the things that we need to feed it, so it can do the work that it's been destined to do, that God ordained it to do.
So if you don't do your body right, that's why we, contracting all these diseases and tired and
So think
everything
about
much
it.
younger.
If we get new blood every 9 days, and they are drawing from our blood to see if we have cancer or diabetes. But if we're getting new replenished blood every 30 days, every 90 days, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
At some point, we shouldn't have that anymore.
Exactly.
But we
Constantly
constantly
restoring.
feeding ourselves toxic food, acidic food. We never give our body a chance to rebuild new blood, rebuild new healthy cells. Does that make sense?
It makes
a
perfect
lot of
sense.
And you're so passionate
Oh, yeah.
with what you're saying and
Thank
what
you.
you're doing. Thank you so very much for being the example
Thank
that we
you.
need to see.
Oh yeah, Dawn Strozier.
Absolutely.
She walks the walk.
Yeah.
So
So, Dawn Strozier, you're building, and then your gift is bringing you before great people.
Yes.
What was it like when you got that call, or whatever that was, that said, okay, Mr. wants to see you and Miss wants to see you? What was that like?
Well, sometimes in retrospect, I saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. So God started to maneuver my life where I would be introduced to people
Okay.
who were doing some major things.
Okay.
He would put me in a room with folks who were doing things on another scale.
Yeah.
So I started to walk around some great people. And then one day I got the call that literally changed my life. Mr. Steve Harvey called me and said, Don, come train me. Well, actually, Rashawn McDonald, his manager, called and said, hey, we were thinking about it, Don. Come and train us. They took me to New York City, and I lived there, and they paid me to train.
Oh, Dawn.
But it was coming prior to.
Yeah.
So I would say, I saw it coming, but I didn't know what God was doing. He was maneuvering things, and I was in the room with some amazing people, and then it just started to unfold. And ever since then, God's been doing what he said he'd do.
Yeah. How about that? Have you noticed your being around people who are influencers?
Yes.
Their names are household names. What's your mindset when you're there? I mean, do you just kind of pinch yourself and say, man, I'm here? Or
Not necessarily, because I know God can do it. I'm not surprised. We serve a God that can do anything but fail.
yeah,
Ephesians 3:20 says he can do exceedingly abundantly above anything we think or imagine,
yeah,
according to the faith and belief that we have.
absolutely.
So I believed it, and he began to bring it into fruition. Yeah.
How about
So I
that?
wasn't surprised. I was grateful. I sat there grateful. I sat there grateful. And it was interesting because I got a call when I was going off to train with Steve when someone was saying to me, they couldn't, how's that going to work? How's that going to work?
Oh, come on.
He knows. And the interesting thing was, Steve knows Tony Martinez, who's probably the highest paid trainer on the planet because he was training Janet Jackson at the time, making incredible money, right?
Okay.
He knows AJ Johnson. He knows some amazing trainers.
Right.
But he chose me. He chose me. And a lot of times it's not necessarily because I'm one of the best.
Yeah.
I believe that. I
course
put the
you
time in for my craft.
Right.
But sometimes it can be just how you get along with other people.
So I'm a firm believer that attitude is
Yes.
just so very, very important. I've got a soliloquy that I teach my daughter, or have taught my daughter because she runs a business back in Atlanta. And one of the things I tell her is what determines how long you'll be successful is two things. You honor what you vowed when you were working your way to that, and how you treat people. We're in the people business, so we have to make certain that we put
Absolutely.
other
And he
people.
said it to me. He said, I think you're awesome. I think you're absolutely awesome.
Yeah.
What I like the most is how you are able to maneuver yourself around people, how you can be seen and not be seen. That's what I love. I love your attitude. I love your disposition. You're easy to get along with. You don't ask, and when you don't ask for a whole lot, we give you more. They called me and said, what's your, they asked me, what's your, I don't know if it was per diem or what do I need? What do you need to travel? And I was like, huh? What do you need us to give you? Oh, nothing. Just, hey, you don't need first class. Do you need, like, what do you want when you get to your new
What is
apartment?
that, Ryder? That's
I
right.
was
What
just
do you
like,
need? What do you need?
I was like, hey, whatever you want to give, I'm happy with my paycheck.
Wow.
Whatever you want to give. And because I said that, when I arrived, I got everything.
Wow. I love it.
Yeah.
That was great.
Because I'm around giving people. I know that
No, that's
Rashawn and
great.
Steve are giving people.
Right.
So I don't have to ask you for a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
They were already setting out to pay me some great money.
Yeah.
More money
wonderful.
in a month.
You look like your eyes getting ready to start watering. Think about it.
Think about them
Because
days.
Steve Harvey checks.
God is able to do that again.
Absolutely,
It's the same God.
yes. You
When he
better
did before,
believe
you
it.
do
Right,
it again.
right,
It's the
multiply.
same. Yes.
Believe it.
So, yeah.
I love
It's my
it.
attitude. I believe it's my attitude. My attitude is trying to stay humble and just trusting God to do what he's going to do.
Absolutely.
And being grateful
Absolutely.
more than anything.
You said something that really kind of piqued my interest. We all know that there is power in prayer.
Yeah.
But we also know that prayer is an action word.
Yes.
So oftentimes we don't want to mistake us just praying and then when it says be still, you just kind of,
Right.
well, I'm not going to do anything. You said, because I'm one of the best. You don't have to explain that
Right.
to someone who knows their position in
Right.
life and their office in life because they feel like they're among the best too.
Yes.
You know, they're one of the best. That kind of stamina, that kind of camaraderie, that kind of characteristic about yourself, it blows the minds, I'm sure, of people because he did say you're able to move in certain circles
Right.
and not lose your head, you know? So that comes with discipline.
Right.
It really does. You're always ready.
Yes.
Because if you have to get ready, you're not ready.
You're not ready. And I learned that lesson.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I was on the show with my closest friend, the Juma Pollard, and she says, Dawn, when are you gonna start sharing the gospel? And I said, this was the 1st of January. We did a show to bring in the new year. And I said, well, I believe God called me to speak.
Okay.
No doubt. I made a commitment to 2019 just to be ready. 2019, just be ready for what He has for me. And I learned that from my pastor's life. I learned that from my previous pastor's life.
Right.
My pastor, when he ended up taking over the church, had no idea it was coming. Went from one Sunday, one of my closest friends, to the next Sunday about to pastor this church. But when he stepped in that pulpit a month later, he'd already had 6 months of messages written out. He said, hey, this is what I'm preaching over the next 6 months.
Wow.
He was just ready. Now he said, I'm smart enough to it may change as God does his thing, but he was ready.
Right.
So then the Juma goes, okay, well, you ready? I'm going to give you a date. And just that quick, I got a date from her.
Yeah.
To do my first message. God is good, isn't he?
How about
Always.
that?
And another hot button I want you to elaborate on. is the fact that I noticed in your periods in life how you evolved. What do you do to challenge yourself to be better? You're great at what you do. You've been doing it. When you feel you're at a roadblock, or what do I do now to increase, or you decided to, what have you done that allows customers from around the world to seek you now? Because this is another important key for a lot of people who are listening here in LA, Atlanta, DC, and all over the world to the Dr. Tongie show. When you get to that plateau in life, what do you do to reset?
Create a new goal for myself. I like my clients to see I have new goals I'm striving for. I'm going to be doing my first Spartan run.
Wow.
Nice.
So I haven't swam in years. So we'll see what happens. So you got to do everything, right? So I'm preparing for that. So I allow my clients to see me doing things, and then I put myself in a room with people who are better than me.
And then I'm
Which
glad
makes me
you said
grow
that.
more than ever.
That's what.
I surround myself with some trainers that are doing what I want to do on a whole nother
What
level.
does the Spartan include? For those who don't know,
I'm a run. I'm a jump. I'm a ride the bike for 3 miles.
so
I'm a
it's
run
a triathlon times 100.
yes.
Okay.
And they're going to see me fail, because it's okay to fail sometimes. You fail sometimes, you can see what you're made of.
Yeah.
And you regroup and you go back and win.
Yeah.
It's okay to fail. So you fail your way to success, right? So they're gonna see me fail. They're running with me right now to get me ready. They're gonna swim with me. They're gonna ride bikes with me.
I love it.
And at the same time, they grow. So
No, and I'm not laughing at you, but I'm thinking about I had that same challenge, but it was with the Navy SEALs. And you couldn't tell me anything. Once I found out what a Navy SEAL is about,
Okay.
if you may have heard it, when they're talking politics sometimes, but a lot of people don't know what the Navy SEAL mindset, what that
Right.
entails.
Absolutely.
Much respect to all of our military
Right.
Navy SEAL job.
Yeah.
I was like, who does that?
Right.
But then I had to train with them. But that was the most empowering, invigorating thing I've ever done. Thought I was going to die. But I said, I made it. They were like, you kind of bad. I said, you damn right.
yeah. And
But
when you
that
have-
is the ultimate.
you
So
have
when you said
eyes-
Spartan, that's what you
Yes.
made me think of.
And when you have eyes looking at you, like
Yeah.
your daughter watching, it's
Yeah.
important for my clients to see me always reaching for something else.
Wow.
After you reach this goal, what's the next one?
What's the next one?
What's the next one?
I love
That's
it.
what keeps you going. And then surround
Absolutely.
yourself by people who make you stretch. One of my closest friends I talk to on the phone all the time is Les Brown.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I think
The
one-
motivator.
Yeah, he's like, Don, come on, I got a platform for you. You got to finish your book. I want to interview you on my platform when your book is done.
Oh,
So he's
wow.
making me get the book
Absolutely,
done.
get the book
My
done.
platform ain't going to be around forever. He was just here
Right.
this past weekend. It was interesting. I was going to go listen to him do a talk.
Okay.
He says, no, I need you to create a talk on the same day I'm talking. So on the you don't come see me. You've seen me enough. I want you to do a talk on the same day. Make it
I love
happen.
that.
So my
Absolutely.
girlfriend has an event called the Bella Network.
Okay.
It's an organization of women, and we advocate for one another.
Okay.
So I got a chance to talk to the Bella women about diet and exercise.
Oh, I love it.
So funny. It was such a quick thing we put together. We had one person scheduled to show up, RSVP. But you know how
That's
we
right.
do it. The day of the event, maybe 15 people showed up.
Right.
End up being really nice. I said, well, I'm going to talk to that one person because I'm supposed to be doing
That's
the event.
right.
Because
That's
Les said,
right.
don't come see
Absolutely.
me. Create an event for yourself. See me
Wow.
afterward and we can talk about it.
What a stretch.
So yes, things like that. So now I created the event at the last minute. It was a great success.
Yeah.
Now I'm finishing my book so I can be interviewed on his platform, which he said is about to go away.
Yeah.
His platform ain't going away. He just telling me my opportunity.
No, Les Brown. He's well rooted. Somebody will
Well,
always
you know what
call
I'm
Les
saying?
Brown up. Absolutely.
He's saying to me, your time is running out. We've been
Okay.
talking about let's do it.
Okay.
So he's forcing me. So I'm
Absolutely.
constantly stretching and growing by
Wonderful.
friends.
Thank
Like
you.
this one here.
Yeah, I know, right? I told anybody if
Yes.
you don't want it to come to pass, don't say
And
it
I
to
called her last week after I got my new charge. So I called. I need to talk to you. I need to talk to you because I got some new things I need to do. I need her help to help me get there. She's
it.
absolutely amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dawn.
Thank
you for
you.
being open, honest, and sincere.
Yeah.
Thank you for resembling the kingdom and using the principles. And oftentimes we don't know what principles we're using, but we know they work.
Right.
They're working.
They're working.
And you're being transparent. And I am excited for what you're doing.
Yes, thank you.
Wow. How about that, everybody? Don Strozier.
Yeah, you interact with
How
Dawn if you're
about
ready.
that?
Only if you're ready.
If you're
'Cause
ready,
Dawn,
right. Yeah.
Dawn's going to get in you. Okay?
And if
All
you're
right?
not ready, don't waste this woman's time.
And Dr. Tongie, don't
Yes.
you dare wrap this up without talking about your big launch coming. Of course, you can see everything on her
Yeah.
Instagram at Dr. Tongie.
Yeah,
But Dr. Tongie show. But you got to tell everybody right now it's coming.
All right. Without further ado, I am so excited about launching Talk to Tongie. This show, again, is designed for people who say, you know what, there's something I got to do it. And they're in this process of doing it.
Right.
And then there are some that say, I need to ask you a question, but I don't want to ask you on the air.
Yeah.
And what better way to interact live on, it's Facebook Live. Yes. Facebook Live. And it's no judgment. It's open, honest, and sincere conversations. And it's not, why aren't you doing this? It's, come on, let's go. Let's do this.
Together.
So how about that?
That's
how
awesome.
about that?
That's
so I'm
awesome.
excited about that. And thank you so very much, Jeannie, for taking that vision and saying, you know what? Let's do it.
got to keep going. It's time to evolve. Okay, then one thing, it's time to go.
Time to
so
go.
I'm excited for
Thank you
you.
very, very
and
much.
Dawn, I mean, I expect nothing but,
Absolutely.
you know,
Absolutely.
higher books and
Absolutely.
ebooks. And
Yes.
I'll see you training in Dubai and Japan and Tokyo. So I'll be there.
Absolutely. So thank you again for coming. Thank you for
having
sharing.
me.
Thank you, listeners, for your support. Thank you for your support. You have no earthly idea. I think I tried to say that as much as I possibly can, but I am very grateful for everything, and continue following us and supporting us and just being there to be ready, because you never know when that time will come and that phone call will be made and you've got to tell them, yep, I'm ready. All right. So part 3 coming up next week of Vision. I'm going to give you some key principles that are going to be applicable, that you can place in your life now to get you where you are now to where you want to be. Thank you again for joining us at the Dr. Tongie Show.
Bye this time.